لله الذي هدانا لهذا وما كنا لنهتدي لولا أن هدانا الله، وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له، خلقنا فسوانا وأطعمنا وسقانا، ثم قال جل وعلا: وما خلقت الجن والإنس إلا ليعبدون ما أريد منهم من رزق وما أريد أن يطعمون. سبحانك ربي سبحانك، أنت الذي تهب الكثير وتجبر القلب الكسير وتغفر الزلات. أنا لا أضام وفي رحابك عصمتي، أنا لا أخاف وفي رضاك أماني. سبحانك ربي سبحانك، قل للطبيب تخطفته يد الردى: يا طبيب من بالمنايا دهاك. بل اسأل الأعمى خطى في الزحام بلا اصطدام من يقود خطاك، واسأل بطون النحل تقاطرت شهدا وقل للشهد من حلاك. بل اسأل اللبن المصفى من بين فرث ودم من الذي صفاك. وإذا رأيت النخل مشقوق النوى فسله يا نخل من شق نواك. وإذا رأيت الحي يخرج من حنايا ميت فسله من الذي أحياك. سيجيبك من في الكون: الله الله. يا من يرى مد البعوض جناحها في ظلمة الليل البهيم الأليم، ويرى نياق عروقها في نحرها والمخ في تلك العظام النحل، ويرى ويسمع ما دونها في قاع بحر مظلم متجلجل. سبحانك ربي سبحانك، وأشهد أن سيدنا وإمامنا وقائدنا وحبيبنا وشفيعنا رسول رب العالمين، رسول الله محمد، أنت الذي من نورك البدر اكتسب والشمس مشرقة بنور بهاك. أنت الذي لما رفعت إلى السماء بك قد سمت وتزينت لسراك. أنت الذي ناداك ربك مرحبا ولقد دعاك لقربه وحباك. وخفضت دين الشرك يا علم الهدى، ورفعت دينك فاستقام هناك. ماذا يقول المادحون وما عسى أن يكتب الكتاب من معناك. صلى عليك الله يا علم الهدى، ما اشتاق مشتاق إلى رؤياك. صلوات ربي وسلامه عليه وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. ثم أما بعد، فإن أصدق الحديث كلام الله تعالى، وخير الهدي هدي محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم، وشر الأمور محدثاتها، وكل محدثة بدعة، وكل بدعة ضلالة، وكل ضلالة في النار. حياكم الله وبياكم وأبقاكم عوامل رفع لهذه الأمة وحياكم، وأسأل الله العلي العظيم أن يبارك جمعنا هذا، إنه ولي ذلك والقادر عليه. All praises due to Allah. Peace and blessings be upon the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. I bear witness and I testify openly that there is no God worthy of our worship except Allah. I bear witness and I testify openly that Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam is the last of the messengers of Allah, the one who came with the guidance. We ask Allah to give us His intercession on the Day of Judgment. We ask Allah to forgive our sins and to shower all of us with His mercy. Allahumma ameen ya Rabbal Alameen. My dear respected brothers and sisters, we'll come back to another Jumu'ah, another time for the worship of Allah. We try to come here for the sake of Allah to get some of the knowledge, so that will benefit us here in the dunya and will benefit us inshallah on the Day of Judgment. And actually today I just wanted to talk with all of you in these few minutes about something very important, something very essential in our religion. And actually it is one of the gates of Jannah. It is one of the ways that will make your way, inshallah, easy to make it to Jannah. Some of the scholars said that this is one of the easiest ways to make it to Jannah. And it is not only relevant to the hereafter, but it's also relevant to our life, our day-to-day life. And in many occasions, I believe that you have heard a lot about this topic. But today, actually, I want to take it from a different angle, from a different perspective, which is related to our sunnah of Rasulullah Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. And that is known, this topic known as Sadaqa, or charity. The charity given for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And that is something clearly, in multiple occasions, I know very well that you have heard a lot about charity. Maybe in fundraisings, maybe in multiple masajid, that you have heard about in Ramadan, about Sadaqa, about giving, about charity. But today, I just wanted to discuss with you something very important. Especially when we talk about charity, what is the first thing comes to your mind? The Imam will talk about monetary charity, or the money aspect, to give money for the sake of Allah. But I will tell you, charity in Islam, or Sadaqa in Islam, is even far away than just giving money. Money is one of the aspects. But when we talk about Sadaqa in large, sitting in the masjid to do something good to somebody, that could be Sadaqa. Sharing your knowledge could be Sadaqa. Smiling to your brother could be charity. Helping somebody or giving him advice could be charity. The food that you give to your kids on the table, it could be Sadaqa. And I'm not here talking about that concept, maybe in the Western culture, maybe in some other beliefs. When we talk about charity, when we talk about Sadaqa, we talk about someone is higher, he's giving those who are lower than him. And that's the first thing comes to our mind. And that's why, what do you feel if I told you that when you give something to your beloved wife, it could be a charity? Some people say, what, Imam, my wife takes charity? And you look down to that issue thinking that it is kind of humiliation, which is not in Islam. Actually, everything that you are doing, the concept of Sadaqa in Islam is different. Could I tell you today, would you believe me if I told you that you can make a charity upon yourself? You can give yourself a charity. Imam, what does it mean? Give me more. Rasulullah Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said that for every joint, for every bone, for every joint in your body, should give sadaqah every day to thank Allah that you woke up in the morning and you can move your joints. So he said, فَفِي كُلِّ تَحْمِيدَةٍ صَدَقَةٍ وَفِي كُلِّ تَكْبِيرَةٍ صَدَقَةٍ وَفِي كُلِّ تَهْلِيلَةٍ صَدَقَةٍ. When you say Alhamdulillah, when you say Allahu Akbar, when you pray duha, salah, that is sadaqah upon yourself. So do not think when you give sadaqah, that means that the one that you are giving him the sadaqah has to be a miskin. And I know that term, lots of people are so sensitive to that term. They look to the word miskin, that it is kind of humiliation. And I'm saying clearly, even if you will get upset with what I'm going to say, but sometimes we admit our hearts, our minds to the tradition more than the religion. So maybe in your tradition, you look at the word miskin, someone who is poor. You look at it as it is something to degrade somebody, to humiliate somebody. But the word miskin in Islam is different. You can notice that difference from the hadith of Rasulullah. And that hadith, maybe you will look at the dua and you say, you know, Imam, I can't say Ameen behind this dua. I cannot say Ameen after this dua. Listen to the dua of your beloved Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. He said, Allahumma ahyini miskina wa amitni miskina wa ahshurni fi zumrati al-masakin. Oh Allah, let me live as miskin. Let me die as miskin. Oh Allah, resurrect me with the masakin. So now my question is, do you want to be miskin? In many occasions, you ask, oh Allah, resurrect me with the Prophet Muhammad. I came today to tell you, if you wanted to be with the Prophet Muhammad, you wanted to be with the masakin. You need to be a miskin, so you need to be with the Prophet Muhammad. Now, you look to the word miskin differently. So miskin is not a humiliation. Miskin is a grade to those people that Allah loves the most. If you look at the word miskin, like I am not poor, let me surprise you by telling you, even if you have millions of dollars in your bank account, and you can see them right now on your phone, I tell you, brother, you are poor. You are very weak. Who said that you are poor? Not me. Go to the Quran. Surah Fatir. Chapter Fatir. When Allah said, Ya ayyuhan nas, O people, antumul fuqara'u ila Allah. You are poor to Allah. Wallahu huwa al-ghani al-hamid. Allah is the most rich. Allah is the most one will be praised. So whatever you gain in this dunya, how do you call yourself rich? And you can leave it any moment. If you died tomorrow, would you take your bank account with you? If you died tomorrow, would you take your car, the keys of your car with you? The shroud has no pockets. And you will never find a U-Haul behind a hearse. You will never find a U-Haul to follow you to the graveyard. We will leave everything. Even sometimes, in some cases, your wife might marry somebody after you. Your kids will take your money to play with. Your house, you will have others to stay in. And after short years, after some years, you will find nobody will remember you. That's a reality, that's a fact. Whether you like it or not, it's a fact. Those who died 100 years ago, هل تسمع لهم ركزة? Do you hear somebody mentioning their names? Those who passed away 200 years ago. But you know what? I came up today with an idea that will allow you to take your bank account and your money with you. I came today to guide, to advise, to tell you, you can transfer your money from the bank account in the dunya to the bank account in the hereafter, to transfer that money, to deposit it in the bank account in the hereafter through something that we call it charity, Sadaqa. When you give for the sake of Allah, that's why every day when you wake up, Allah will assign 2 angels to make a dua, and one of them will say, Allahumma a'ti munfiqan khalafa. Oh Allah, give the one who gives for your sake. And the other angel will say, Allahumma a'ti mumsikan talafa. Oh Allah, withhold to those who will withhold and not give people. What does it mean? And let me tell you clearly, in these few minutes, what are you looking for? Are you looking for health? Are you looking for stability? Are you looking for contentment? Are you looking for peace? Are you looking for protection? Are you looking for success? Are you looking for more money? Are you looking for the protection of your children? Are you looking for prosperity? Are you looking for good life? Are you looking for Jannah? Are you looking for being with the Prophet Muhammad? Are you looking for something to guarantee that you will have a good life and a good position in the hereafter? All of that you can get through the gate of Sadaqa. How did I know all of this? From the Quran, from the Sunnah of Rasulullah Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Listen to the hadith. And I know that lots of people nowadays became so stingy, even upon themselves, to the point that maybe they do not count, they don't care when they go to a restaurant how much they will pay. Maybe in a restaurant he pays 150, 180, maybe 220 in a restaurant to feed his wife, to feed his kids, and that's fine, that's good. But when it comes to give to the masjid, he takes the $10 and look as a fare will look, to say goodbye to the $10, while his tears almost might come down. See you in the hereafter, inshallah. Bye-bye. He looks to the $10 like, wow, I give something. And most of people don't give the entire year, except when it comes to Ramadan, except when it comes to Fitrah or Zakatul Fitri at the last of Ramadan. And they come check with the Imam. Imam, what the board saying? Oh, $15 per person. Me, my wife, and my child. You know what? Okay, that's $45. $45. And he counts. We say, brother, that's the minimum, not the maximum. So even if he has $100,000, then he says, okay, only $15 for my fitrah. I did my portion. That is the way that the Sadaqa was designed? No. If you wanted barakah, if you are stressed out, if you wanted Allah to give you relief, to give you cure, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, "Dawu mardakum bis-sadaqa." Seek cure and healing to those who are sick by giving sadaqah. By giving sadaqah. And sometimes we think, I have $100, if I give 20, so now I have 80, so my money got decreased. No. Listen to the hadith. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said in the authentic hadith, مَا نَقُصَ مَالٌ مِّن صَدَقَةٍ. Your wealth will never be decreased because of your sadaqah. Because you do not know where is the barakah. Maybe the $10 that you give in the box of the masjid today, maybe it will prevent you from lots of damages, from accidents, from your son getting sick. You do not know. Your sadaqah will be the protection for you and your family members. Pay attention that the easiest way, the fastest way to make it to Jannah by giving sadaqah. And for those who have this routine with Allah, by giving on daily basis, weekly basis, monthly basis, they will tell you about the barakah, the blessings of sadaqah. It looks like they signed a contract with Allah. Oh Allah, from my income, every month, I will give 1%. I will give 2% for the sake of Allah, no matter what. If you started that contract with Allah right now, just by making the intention, you will see the blessings of Allah in your life. You will see that Allah will change your life upside down. You will be a different person. Those who are sponsoring orphans, those who are paying maintenance for the masjid, those who are having a business trade with Allah, even with something little but consistent. Even by something little, but you will keep it forever. Someone who pays for the small kids to memorize Quran. Someone sponsoring orphans. Someone giving to the sick people. Someone who built a masjid. Someone who built a school to have hafiz for the Quran. That's the project. This is what keeps your bank account in the hereafter flourishing. You have heard a lot about that concept. Sadaqatun jariyah. Continuous charity, right? And you memorize the hadith. When the son of Adam dies, all his actions will come to an end, will stop. He cannot pray, he cannot go to Umrah, he cannot go to Hajj. All the actions will be stopped, will come to an end, except 3 actions. A continuous charity, a knowledge people can benefit from, and a pious child who can make dua on his behalf when he dies. So you might die and you're still having your bank account in the hereafter, receiving good deeds. Be sure to establish something before you die, so it will continue. And I like that expression. One day, Rasulullah Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he got like a sheep or a lamb, and they prepared the lamb so they can give the lamb for the sake of Allah. So he said, Sayyida Aisha, his wife, kept the shoulder for the Prophet Muhammad to eat, because he used to love to eat from the shoulder. So when he came, in his absence, she gave for the sake of Allah. In his absence, she distributed the entire sheep except the shoulder. So he said, what remained? What remained from the sheep? She said, ذهبت كلها. The whole sheep had gone. Only the shoulder had remained. Rasulullah said, no. بقيت كلها. The whole sheep had remained, and only the shoulder had gone. Means what? What you spend for the sake of Allah as sadaqah, that's what will remain actually. On the day of judgment, you would say, Imam Ali had reminded me to give sadaqah, so I give $5 for the sake of Allah. I hope if I give 500. I hope if I give that day 5,000. Because what really remained, your sadaqah. And what you know about the ethics of sadaqah, do not feel for a moment that when you give, that you have the upper hand. That when you give, that you are better than the one that you are giving to. Do not think for a moment that because you are the one who gives, that you are better than him. No. Sayyida Aisha used to put perfume in her sadaqah. And they said, why are you putting perfume over the money before you give? She said, because it befalls first in the hands of Allah, not in the hands of the receiver of my sadaqah. That's the way that they started to think of sadaqah. My brothers and sisters, I came today. Maybe Allah had sent me today and made those words to come to my tongue to remind you, sadaqah is not only in Ramadan. Sadaqah is not given by giving your zakah. Sadaqah, make it as a habit, as a routine, to give for the sake of Allah. And sadaqah is not only money. Sadaqah by helping, by sharing knowledge, giving advice, helping widows, helping orphans, assisting poor, assisting weak people, visiting the sick persons. Sadaqah is a generic term. It's not only by giving money even by smiling to your brother or your sister, as a sister smiling to another sister, that could be a sadaqah for the sake of Allah. Who knows? Sadaqa can protect what? Sadaqa can prevent what? Sadaqa can prevent disease. Sadaqa can prevent failure. Sadaqa can prevent clashes. Sadaqa can prevent divorce. Sadaqa can prevent collapsing. Sadaqa can prevent poverty. Sadaqa can prevent distress, failure, depression. Sadaqa can prevent hatred. Sadaqa can prevent magic. Sadaqa can prevent envy. Sadaqa can prevent evil to come to our life. May Allah guide us to that meaning. May Allah enlighten our graves with our own sadaqah. Do not wait till you die, so you are waiting for your son to give sadaqah on your behalf. Maybe you die and he forgets. Establish a continuous charity. May Allah accept from all of us. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله. الحمد لله وكفى وصلاة وسلاما على النبي المصطفى صلى الله عليه وسلم. My brothers and sisters, I see that the clock, the time is chasing me right now, but just to make that clear, because you do not know the destiny of Allah, how things are running, and how things, maybe too much of things that Allah can prevent, and maybe certain risk that you even cannot comprehend, that you do not even can expect, or even you cannot predict, something you cannot calculate, and Allah will send to you because of your sadaqah. You need more money? Do you need more money? Yes, give sadaqah. Give sadaqah. And you might ask, Imam, how come I need to keep that money so I can save? Wait. Till now you didn't understand that equation. When you give for the sake of Allah, Allah will multiply and will give it back to you. My evidence is the hadith of Rasulullah. Please listen in 2 minutes to this hadith mentioned in Sahih Muslim, narrated by Abu Hurairah radiallahu anhu, that Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam one day said, there was a man, once upon a time, there was a man who was walking in the gardens, between the gardens, and he have heard angel. He have heard an angel in the clouds saying to the clouds, go and irrigate the garden of so and so. And he mentioned the name. Now there is an angel talking to the clouds to go and irrigate a certain garden for a certain person. And he had heard the name. So that man followed the clouds. And he found the rain is pouring in a certain area. And that rain had formed a channel, a stream. And that water came to a certain garden. He went to the garden and he found a certain person. And that person is taking care of the garden. And when the rain came down, he found that the person is opening small channels so the water can go to the garden. He stopped him. He said, my brother, who are you? And he said, my name is so and so. The same name that he have heard that the angel is saying. So he said, can you tell me please, what's the good action that you are doing for the sake of Allah? He said, I don't want to tell you. He said, I swear by Allah, tell me, what are you doing? He said, because you have sworn by Allah, now I can tell you. Whatever I get from this garden, I split it into 3/3. 1/3, I feed myself and my kids and my wife. 1/3, I invest it back to the garden. And 1/3, I give it all for the sake of Allah. He said, that's because it's not any rizq for anyone. No, it's a special gift from Allah to you. You can have the same today. When you give in your masjid, for the boxes, for the maintenance, for the house of Allah, to keep it running. That's a continuous charity. Listen, you have a golden chance, because there is a special gate in Jannah for those who are giving for the sake of Allah. My brothers and sisters, I know the time had passed, but believe me, maybe Allah had sent me today, so you might give on behalf of your mom who passed away. Maybe you give on behalf of your father. Maybe that time, maybe your father needs a Sadaqa. You give it on his behalf, so it will move him from a place to place in Jannah, or it could save him. Remember, they are waiting for your gift. Allah will make that gift to be in a light, in a lamp, and it will go to the barzakh life, and they will see that light. They will ask Allah, how did we get that light? And Allah will say, it's a gift from your son, so and so. It's a gift from your husband, so and so. It's a gift from your daughter, so and so. It's a gift from your wife, so and so. Give sadaqah, even if you will give little. With the sincerity in your heart, Allah will multiply it and will give you more. تزود من حياتك للمعاد وقم لله واجمع خير زادي أترضى أن تكون رفيق قوم لهم زاد وأنت بغير زاد اعمل لدار غدا رضوان خازنها والجار أحمد والرحمن ناشيها قصورها ذهب والمسك طينتها والزعفران حشيش نابت فيها والطير تجري على الأغصان عاكفة تسبح الله جهرا في معاليها. اللهم اغفر لنا ذنوبنا وإسرافنا في أمرنا وثبت أقدامنا. اللهم انصرنا على القوم الكافرين. اللهم توفنا مسلمين والحقنا بالصالحين واحشرنا يا ربنا في زمرة خير المرسلين. وأقم الصلاة. قوموا إلى صلاتكم يرحمكم الله.